Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this English news edition brought to you live from Dzair News Studios. Let's have a look at today's top stories. According to Justice Minister, efforts are underway to bring home 8 Algerians still detained in Guantanamo camp. Star Wars: The Force Awakens has finally seen the light in Algeria, much to the excitement of fans of the saga. FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA boss Michel Platini have been suspended for 8 years from all football-related activities following the ethics investigation. Those were today's top stories. Welcome back again. According to Justice Minister, efforts are underway to bring home 8 Algerians still detained in Guantanamo camp. Mr. Louh said while holding a joint conference with its friend opposite number that Algeria is carrying on efforts with the United States and the legal procedures to transfer those 8 prisoners. He added that Algeria sent years ago a delegation in relation to the case of those detainees without trial in Guantanamo, whose number reached then 26, most of whom arrested in Afghanistan for links with terrorism. Negotiations with the American side have then allowed the transfer of 18 prisoners, all of whom were brought before Algerian courts. The new law introduced by the government concerning the unification of taxi cars' colours stirred controversy amongst taxi drivers, who are leading a wave of protests calling on the concerned authorities to abolish what they described as unjustified law. Osama Snoussi has the details in the following report.
For the second day on a row, taxi drivers in Algiers gather in the early morning at the interprovincial taxi station to continue their protest against the government's decision to unify taxi cars' colour to black and orange.
We already have problems. We pay 4,000 dinars for the license and the tax department annoys us. And on top of that, the police keep harassing us. Everything is against us. Till when? We work more than required. We wake up at 1 a.m. We don't accept these color stickers because some of us own cars that cost more than 2 million dinars. So after you take off the stickers, it will lose its value. They have deployed 4 spots for the installation of the stickers, and it costs between 15,000 to 20,000 dinars, whereas in other places it costs just 4,000 to 5,000.
The taxi drivers disowned their union that didn't play its role in defending their rights. And they even stuck to their demand, which is the abolishment of this unjustified decision. They even said they would go further in this matter.
We don't recognize this union because they only care about their own interests. The 500 dinars we pay every year go straight to their pockets. But when it comes to situations like this, they never defend us. We went to the municipal hall and the directorate. They said that we should consult the union, but our union is corrupted and we disowned it. We want the abolishment of this decision, and we call for the dialogue so we can iron up this problem. Otherwise, they can expect from us either strikes or protests.
The Ministry of Transport sticks to its decision to unify the taxi cars' colour, and taxi drivers continue their protests against what they called an unjust law. But the biggest victim, after all, is the citizen who already suffers big problems concerning transportation.
Moving on to another story now, and with the ban of Ministry of Health for 186 pharmaceutical products. Citizens and pharmacists alike were all worried of a potential medicine crisis. However, pharmacists' syndicate of private properties came to reassure citizens and pharmacists that such a thing would never happen, and by the occasion the union encouraged citizens to trust locally manufactured medications. More details with Karim Faz-Sakri.
Pharmacists Syndicate of Private Properties reassures citizens and stresses that the decision of the Ministry of Health, Population and Hospital Reform related to preventing the import of 168 pharmaceutical products will not pose any scarcity in the pharmaceutical market, for they are going to be produced locally. Masoud Balamri, chairman of Pharmacists Syndicate of Private Property, said in a phone call to Dzair news channel that whenever there is a scarcity of some medication, it was because of some disorder in distribution and delivery system on the one hand, and on the other, relying on import can also cause scarcity. Thus, for guaranteeing an independence in the sector's national market and an availability of drugs, we need to support local industry. Thank God today we reached 40% of self-sufficiency, yet we need to raise it up to 70%. The Syndicate Union, which confirmed that the import ban covers only 50% of patients' needs in a move to encourage local manufacturers, called for patients to trust in the Algerian-made medicine. The Algerian citizen must have trust in the local product. We confirm and reassure that this product is of a very good quality. There are even some producers who started exporting their products to other countries. There are partnership contracts between national companies such as Saidal and well-recognized international laboratories. We have some Algerian laboratories which are well-ranked internationally for their quality. At a time when a number of patients' associations considered the import prevention of certain medications an austerity measure and which could create again a medicine crisis in pharmacies, the position of sector's professionals came in favor of Minister Boudiaf's resolutions in the hope that such action would book domestic medicine a place in the national market. Nevertheless, the citizens do not trust local products as they trust everything that comes in containers from overseas.
Moving on to another matter now. The Embassy of Great Britain praised the move of the Algerian authorities in amending the penal code regarding violence, in notably the part of preserving women's rights. The ambassador of the UK to Algeria, Mr. Andrew Noble, sees the law as a step forward in the building of a human rights state.
The Embassy of Great Britain hails the move of the Algerian authority in amending the penal code regarding violence, especially the part preserving women's rights. The ambassador of UK regards the controversial law as a step forward in the building of a human rights state. What you did last week for the rights of women and the protection against violence was a step of a global importance. I know it wasn't easy for you, but it was very important. For its side, Penal Reform International accused the Algerian voices against this controversial law, since it contradicts with the Algerian culture and ethics, of being religiously ignorant, because Islam does defend women against any form of violence. The Islamic Sharia is the first in all holy books which encourages and pushes for the rights of women above all. Thus, the protection of women against violence is a fully humanitarian cause in its all dimensions, and it is part of the international agreements and standards which Algeria validated. And I don't think that anyone would be against the protection of his own daughter, wife, mother, and sister from violence. This is a humanitarian concept. Who speaks about the protection of women? Women were protected before the law and during the law and after the law. The law is just a mechanism which wouldn't influence the Algerian family. Quite the contrary, it would reinforce it even better. Indeed, the Algerian penal reform received a wide international blessing for the protection of women from violence and all kinds of violence against anyone whatsoever, and was passed in the two houses of parliament despite all the controversy it stirred in the political scene.
Moving on to our international news now. It's been a catastrophic 18 months for crude oil, which has suffered a dramatic 69% plunge due to a massive supply glut. Oil fell to a fresh 7-year low below $34 a barrel on Friday. However, many Wall Street experts believe that prices will rebound in late 2016, yet more pain may be inflicted. Some say it's actually needed before prices to bounce higher. And as we mentioned in our headlines, FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA boss Michel Platini have been suspended for 8 years from all football-related activities following ethics investigation. They are found guilty of breaches surrounding a $2 million disloyal payment made to Platini in 2011. The FIFA Ethics Committee found Blatter and Platini had demonstrated an abusive execution of their positions. Both men deny wrongdoing. The bans come into force immediately. FIFA boss since 1988, Blatter, 1970 years old, had already announced he was guilty with a presidential election in February. Platini, 60 years old, was tipped as a future leader of football's world governing body and had hoped to succeed Blatter. A 3-time European Footballer of the Year and former captain of France, he had been in charge of UEFA, European football's governing body, since 2007. Moving on to another story now, the number of people missing after a landslide in southern China has almost doubled to 89 after a huge amount of construction waste collapsed and buried 33 buildings in China's latest industrial disaster. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang ordered an official investigation into the disaster in the southern city of Shenzhen, which comes 4 months after a huge chemical blasts at the northern port of Tianjin killed more than 160 people. A wall of mud smashed into multi-story buildings at the Huangtu Industrial Park in the city's northern-western Guanming New District on Sunday morning. The latest addition to the fantasy franchise Star Wars The Force Awakens has finally seen the light in Algeria, much to the excitement of the fans of the saga. It is worth recalling that Algeria was the second country in the Arab world after the UAE to premiere the film, merely days following the world premiere. The film screening will take place until January the 3rd at Ibn Khaldun Theatre Hall. Missed the chance? You shouldn't. Let's follow details with.
I'm no one.
The 7th big-screen installment in the intergalactic fantasy franchise known as Star Wars has finally arrived in Algeria, merely 6 days following its world premiere. J.J. Abrams' hotly anticipated Star Wars The Force Awakens has got Algerian fans buzzing with excitement, showing their dedication for the saga by being all present at Ibn Khaldun Theatre Hall. And enthusiastic they were.
So we are here for the movie. We're very proud to have it in Algerian soil. It's the first time that they display a movie in a very short time since its premiere in the US or the UAE. So we are big fans of the movie. We didn't miss anyone except the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th.
I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, and I'm really proud that Algeria is projecting this movie right now. I've been waiting for this movie since so long, I guess.
I started watching Star Wars when I had 6 years old. Yes, but it's a long movie. Okay. It's for a long time. I think it's gonna be awesome like the last movies.
What's your favorite character?
Darth Vader. like all of us.
150 minutes later of purely galactic awesome, fans were utterly starstruck, be it adults, adolescents, or even kids. They laughed, cried, gasped in shock or horror, and even applauded. At the end of the movie, it was safe to say that the film was up to expectations.
I'm a big fan of Star Wars. This was the best movie I've ever seen, even though there was a little extra violence.
Well, it was a great movie, so I just hope the 8th comes out soon so I can watch it, because it was epic, just epic. There's some things that I don't want to spoil, but just watch it. If you have the occasion, just come and watch, because it's a great movie. Even if you're not a fan of Star Wars, you haven't watched ever a Star Wars movie ever, come watch this one, because it's great.
That was just awesome. One of the best movie I ever seen. Not one the best of the best movie I ever seen. I'm so happy. And it's still 3 other movies. I hope so.
The end of The Force Awakens has surely hinted for other installments which fans are hoping won't be far, far away. Meanwhile, the screening of Star Wars' 7th episode will last until January 3rd, in an initiative that was much appreciated in the Algerian soil. Moviegoers, may the Force be with you.
Indeed, that was epic. And moving on to the trending story of the day. Shock and disbelief have erupted online after the wrong Miss Universe winner was crowned Miss Colombia. Adriana Gutierrez was announced winner of the 2015 beauty pageant before organizers revealed she was actually the first runner-up. Miss Philippines Pia Alonso was later declared the winner. Hashtag Miss Universe 2015 also became Twitter's biggest trend of the night, as thousands of social media users began to express disbelief using jokes and memes.
I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Colombia. Miss Universe 2015 is Philippines.
Indeed, that was awkward. And before I sign off, let's have a look again at today's top stories. According to Justice Minister, efforts are underway to bring home 8 Algerians still detained in Guantanamo camp. Star Wars The Force Awakens has finally seen the light in Algeria, much to the excitement of fans of the saga. FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA boss Michel Platini have been suspended for 8 years from all football-related activities following ethics investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of our news in English, brought to you live from Dzair News Studios. Have a nice evening and goodbye.